Hello, Caitlin. It's great to see you this afternoon. I know we previously talked about allowing my supervisor, Grant, to sit in and observe our session, but I wanted to make sure again that that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, great. We may take a few notes throughout the session just in case we want to refer back to them in the future. Is that also all right with you?
Yeah, that's fine with me. That works.
Okay, so when we met 2 weeks ago, you had told me that you'd been struggling with a lot of depression lately, and that's caused your grades to drop in school, which has also led to having fights with your parents because you haven't known how to talk with them about your depression. You expressed that you would like to speak with your parents openly about your depression, but you don't feel comfortable doing so because you feel like that they're just going to see you as a rebellious teenager and not take you seriously. After we identified that it's your depression that these problems are stemming from, we then worked together to establish some goals to reduce your depression, get more support in school to help raise your grades, and create better communication between you and your parents. I'm looking forward to hearing about how those goals have helped you over the past 2 weeks, but I would like to start off our session first by seeing how you're doing today. Using the same scale that we did last week, with 1 being the worst and 10 being the best, how would you rate how you're feeling today?
I guess maybe a 4. I'm a little stressed out because I just had a science exam in school today, and I think it went better than my last test, but that's not really saying much. So I don't really feel very confident about how well I did. My grade in the class is a lot lower than I'd like it to be. I mean, it's pretty low, and my parents and I are fighting about it a lot. And I mean, I'm not good at science to begin with. I'm not going to be a doctor or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really have no motivation to do anything at all.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that you're struggling in this area, Caitlin. Although I think that it is beneficial to remember that last week you had rated yourself out of 1, and now 2 weeks later you're rating yourself out of 4, which is great, and shows that the goals that we had talked about last week have been helping. What do you think that you've done differently over the past 2 weeks that have improved your feelings?
Well, I completed my first goal and kind of wrote out a list of all the due dates for my classes and whatnot. And I met outside of class with my teachers to get extra help and to sort of talk with them about what's going on, and I don't know.
Well, that's excellent. I'm really proud of you for taking the initiative to meet with your teachers and gain a bigger support system that will help you with your schoolwork. Did your teachers give you any advice that you found to be particularly helpful in lowering the amount of stress for school?
Well, actually, now that you're talking about it, I guess that my math and science teachers did give me some advice that was pretty helpful. They were actually really nice, which surprised me because they're both kind of really tough in class and scare me a little bit. But they were nice, and they reassured me that they do see me as a good student, and they believe in my ability to succeed, and they're willing to meet with me outside of class and help me gain a better understanding of the material we're covering. So that was nice, I guess, and helpful, but...
That is very nice of them, and that's excellent that you've done that. Do you feel like meeting with them has made any difference in your motivation for school?
I mean, I think it's helped me become a little bit more motivated. I mean, since they believe in me, I don't want to disappoint more people. And my parents were really happy to hear that I was meeting with my teachers and working with them during school, after school, and even during lunch. That made my parents really proud. But I mean, my motivation's just low. I'm more motivated, but I'm still not motivated.
Do you feel like your lack of motivation is primarily in school, or is it overall in life, or is there anything that you are motivated to do?
Well, definitely no motivation in school, and my parents seem to think I'm a lazy bum. their words, not mine. So I'm not really motivated to do my chores, although I can't really think of a time when I ever was. But I like to sew a lot. That's something my grandma taught me. And yeah, I like it. It makes me happy. It's one of the few things that do.
Well, that's good. Could you tell me more about sewing?
Well, my grandma taught it to me kind of as a way to relieve stress, and it's done a pretty good job of that. I really like going to the fabric store and, you know, picking what I'm going to make and then picking out fabric, because I know if I follow, you know, step 1, step 2, step 3, cut out the pattern, then I'm going to get this end result. So that's always nice. It's the perfect formula, which I really, it's the only type of formula I like. I don't like math formulas. So I actually turned sewing into a little business, and I sell coats on Etsy and all sorts of other little things. I like making my money. It makes me really proud. Yeah, so I like to sew.
Well, that's excellent that you found such a positive outlet that makes you feel empowered and proud of yourself. It sounds to me like you are doing a really great job of managing all of the tasks and responsibilities that come with starting your own Etsy shop and making coats. It sounds like it would be a lot of work at times, but that's good that you find that as a stress relief. Is that correct? And you don't find it stressful?
Oh yeah, I find it as it's a great stress reliever. I wish I could just be a seamstress and quit going to school. That would make me happy.
Well, now that you're still in school, do you think that there's any areas that you might be able to apply the structure that you like about sewing to your schoolwork?
Well, I really like the structure of sewing. And like I said, you know, there's all these steps, but you always get the same thing. Right now I really feel like I'm drowning in school. I mean, giving up sounds like kind of the best option. I mean, it's nice that the teachers say they'll support me and all that, but what does that really mean in reality? I mean, I think something more detailed, or, I don't know, something tangible. It's great thinking they believe in me, but what can I do? How much can I even accomplish?
Right. So what I'm hearing you say is that you're feeling more encouraged by your teacher's support, but that overall you still feel that school is just a broad, huge task that doesn't seem very realistic to break up into smaller pieces and accomplish as a goal. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Do you think that there is any way that we could work together to break down your school assignments into small, realistic steps and into things that will be easy to achieve and that will make you feel less overwhelmed with school and more motivated to do your work?
Well, I guess that upcoming due dates list, we could maybe, I don't know, narrow it down or make it, I just can't focus on all these things. I mean, it just feels like too much, so maybe less to focus on.
I think that's a really good idea. Is there anything specific out of the school dates, upcoming school dates list that you would want to focus on for now, and then we can work on another goal step by step?
Well, right now I'm doing okay in like English, and I'd like to read. So maybe if I guess I have a science project coming up, and that class is the one I'm really doing pretty poorly in. So maybe something with science, the project, or I don't know, something like that I think would be good. Yeah, I think science project.
Okay, great. I think that that's a very good goal and a realistic goal that can break up into each part of your science project, right? Like break it up into days or the weeks that you have ahead of time before it's due into little steps for yourself,
I think
similar to sewing.
That would be good. I could come up with what I want to do and then figure out how to do it. And I think if I didn't wait till the last minute and just did 10 minutes each day, I might not feel so overwhelmed.
And maybe if you also go back and talk with your science teacher about this. They can work to help encourage you and spend your time that you go and meet with them outside of class to help work on these tiny goals and achieve them. That would probably lead to you feeling more encouraged as well.
Yeah, I think that could work. I like that idea.
Great. So, well, I think that you've done a really great job setting realistic goals for yourself, and that you're utilizing skill sets that you already have that you're showing in your sewing and Etsy shop. So let's meet again in 2 weeks and see what kind of progress you've made and how you're feeling. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Well, it was wonderful meeting with you, Caitlin, and I'm very proud of you and all your hard work over these past 2 weeks. I hope that you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Feedback.
Okay, I have a handy dandy little list. Overall, I think you did really well. You did a great job being encouraging and responding to what I said. Even when it didn't necessarily make the most sense, I could tell you were really attending and listening, and I like that your use of paraphrasing and summarizing. I could tell at a few points you got a little flustered, especially when you had a lot to say.
Yeah.
And it was all important stuff, so it was probably hard to, make sure. So maybe pausing, taking a breath when you can tell you're starting to speak a little fast.
Mm-hmm.
And at a few times it got a little lengthy, but I think that stuff needed to be said. Yeah, overall just practice, and I think you did really good.
Well, thank you. I agree. That's a good idea to pause in the middle of saying stuff. I think I got caught up in wanting to seem like it's a real interview and not reading. Yeah. Any feedback?
Well, I think you did a pretty good job. I think the only thing I would have to say is that I like the way that you were kind of like leading them into their own solutions rather than, showering them with advice that kind of maybe doesn't make sense to them and whatnot. But you're pretty well paced and really appealing to making sure that they feel satisfied and emotionally, and maybe feel better after they have visited with you.
Yeah, I agree. You did great with the strengths perspective and really, letting me kind of figure out, even though I felt like I had no idea like what my solution would be or what I was, you teased out the solution and what I was saying and made sure it was something that worked for me. So yeah, great job.
Great. Well, thank you guys.